And I'm Dylan Black. Okay, she specializes in helping families feed children for better mental and emotional well-being. She's a holistic nutritionist, and she's also the author of Raising Resilience. Her name is Jess Sherman. She joins us right now. Hello, Jess. How are you?
Hi, thanks for having me.
And Happy New Year to you.
Thank you.
When should we stop saying Happy New Year, by the way? Is
that next New Year?
We're still good? Next New Year? You got
to say it again.
December, I can say that to you. Jess, how was your holiday season?
It was hectic. Always hectic with my 3 little boys at home.
Yeah.
But always fun to have some time to connect with them and sleep in. And
is it easy to keep them on track for those the couple of weeks where all the craziness is happening?
Oh no, there's no keeping anything on track for the craziness of holidays. No, and I don't try to. Some kids really need the structure, right? They fall apart when the structure falls apart. Mm-hmm. And the anxiety increases, and then transitions are a nightmare. So it's important for those families to really keep things under control for a schedule and things for the holidays. But my kids really love the downtime. So you got to just know your kid.
Yeah, and eating healthy has got to be a bit of a challenge as well.
Yeah. I find it a bit healthier during the holidays, to be honest, because I have more time to be with them and to cook with them and stuff, but I know not doesn't happen for everybody.
Raising Resilience, this book, how long has it been out?
It came out last year, beginning of last sort of spring of last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what the basis is for Raising Resilience?
Well, I wrote the book because I was really interested in understanding further what influences our kids' mental wellness and their ability to learn and cope with stress and things like that. And I really started that interest for me started when I was a teacher and working with kids, and so many of them were struggling. And I really wanted to understand all of these factors, and we had great teaching techniques and creative ways to help them and stuff. But it wasn't until I left school teaching and I went back to study nutrition that I really understood the impact of food in that there's things going on in all corners of the body that are actually seem to have nothing to do with the brain, but actually really impact how we feel and how we function and even how we think.
So you're definitely saying, though, from the notes that you've given me and obviously your book, like what children eat do have a major impact on their behavior.
It does, and it's really important, I think, almost refreshing and important for parents to learn this, because so many children are struggling now. We're now at 1 in 5 kids who are struggling with a learning issue or a mental wellness issue, and a lot of them, the Children's Mental Health Association is telling us that in Ontario, a lot of them, up to 75% of them, are not getting the help that they need. They're on waiting lists or they don't know where to go. And working with food is something that parents can do in the kitchen in their own homes to get started. And it can have a very big impact. So that's what the book's about.
So you've got different ways, obviously, that to help parents to feed their children properly.
Yeah.
Where would you like to begin here? I know that you brought a bunch of stuff with you. What would you like to focus on?
In the book, I talk about 4 ways that food impacts behavior, and there's probably a lot more than that. But we're busy parents. I'm a busy mom. I know what it's like to be a busy mom, and so we need simplicity. We need to keep it really simple. And so these 4 things are the place to start. And I thought maybe we would focus on just one of them, but we can talk about the others if we have time.
Yes, of course.
But the one that I think is really important to know about is that there are certain nutritional deficiencies that, when present, really affect how we feel and function. And we can use foods strategically that way. So the foods that I've brought here are representative of some of the ways to get those nutrients in.
Okay.
And and it's not that far a stretch for people, because most of us understand, if you're exhausted all the time, you go to your doctor, they're probably going to check your iron levels.
Okay.
They might check your B12 levels, because those nutrients are very much involved in energy production, right? Okay. So it goes much deeper than that, and these are some of the foods people can draw on to help repeat that. So
what do you have?
What do I have here? I've got pumpkin seeds. These are one of my favorite sources of zinc. Zinc is one of the first things that I look at, because it's so important for neurotransmitter function. It's involved in dopamine and norepinephrine, which are neurotransmitters that are so much talked about in terms of ADHD.
Okay.
And there's a hefty dose of pumpkin seed butter in my little smoothie here. I don't know if you want to try it or not.
I will try that. But so what exactly would be in this smoothie other than the pumpkin?
You want to know before you try it?
Well, no.
So this is a non-dairy version. It's more of a milkshake than it is a smoothie. But there's pumpkin seed butter. There is almond milk. There is all of this stuff. There's actually a soft-boiled egg in there.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why I love that in a moment.
Yeah.
This little guy here, which I love, I'll
What's
tell
that
you
exactly?
what that is. You want to know what it is now?
Sure, yeah.
It's not ginger. It looks like ginger.
It does look like ginger.
It's called a Jerusalem artichoke.
Okay.
And it's actually the root of the sunflower.
Is that difficult to get?
No, it's actually more and more you'll find it. You'll find it sort of in the funny sections of grocery stores.
The funny sections. Okay.
Usually you'll find it, I'll say, in the fall, in the winter. You probably won't find it in the spring because it's a root.
Okay.
And if you can't find it, a nice substitution for that is pumpkin, pureed pumpkin.
Okay. Is
So
it
that's in
difficult
here
though, because some of these, because kids like their candies and their flashy stuff. Is it a challenge to get kids to eat?
Sometimes it is, but when you present them with a chocolate milkshake,
That can't be too hard.
it can't be too hard
And
if your
and
kid likes
kids-
chocolate.
Well,
Some
kids, I'm
don't
going
like
to tell you
chocolate.
if this is like if it tastes like chocolate.
Don't make a
milk.
funny face.
No.
It's not bad, hey?
No, it's extremely good.
Yeah,
It is
and-
milkshakey kind of.
It's milkshakey. And one of the things I like about cocoa, I put raw cocoa in there as well, is that it's a nice rich source of magnesium and iron, which are two really important nutrients for the brain.
It's very good.
So
What
it's
do you
got
have
raw
over
cocoa.
here?
Well, those I brought just as supplements. Sometimes if you do have really picky eaters, you do need to resort to some supplements just to get over the hump, because
Okay.
actually sometimes picky eating can be caused by nutritional deficiencies, and
Okay.
so you need to play with that.
We only have about a minute left here,
Okay.
Jess. So tell us about the breakfast for better emotional stability as well.
So you can get the smoothie recipe on my website,
Okay.
JessSherman.com. And I usually tell families, like, the place to start is with breakfast. If you're struggling with anxieties and tantrums and learning problems, attention problems, hyperactivity, aggression, the place to start is with breakfast, because that will help you stabilize blood sugar. And there's a handout there with this. I have also two other ideas for breakfasts that are full of fiber, full of protein, maybe some less conventional things.
Okay. So you're saying if we go to your website, which is at jesssherman.com, we can download.
Yeah, you
all
can
this
get the
important stuff.
recipes. You can find information on my book, which also talks about the other factors. Like I say, there's 4 factors that I highlight in there.
Perfect. Thank you very much for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.
Keeping us healthy. We've got more daytime coming up in moments.